Miss Russell, did you and Mr. McNulty ever live together?
Yes, we did.
From when to when?
We lived together from September 1st to November 12th.
Of last year?
Yes, of 2016.
But that was after your daughter was born?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm talking about prior to her birth.
No.
And at the time that she was born, were you and the defendant still dating?
No.
When had you stopped dating?
In September of 2015.
Your complaint indicated, the first couple of lines, that Mr. McNulty did not know he had a child due to some, use the word mix-up, for the first 4 months of her life. Was that a mix-up because there was someone else who was originally named as the father?
There was. I was dating someone.
Okay, so there was someone else who was named as the father. And what prompted you to take another step towards finding that Mr. McNulty, who actually had a paternity test, was the father of the child?
He contacted me asking for it, paternity test.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Honestly, it was crazy how I found out about it. I just found out through a picture online, and I saw that the child looked like me, and I just kind of had this crazy hunch that it might be mine, so I contacted her and got the paternity test done. And
Just a minute. When you contacted her, where was she living?
it was Lafayette, Indiana, which is about an hour and a half from me, almost 2 hours.
With whom?
Her sister.
And in what month was that?
I can't tell you exactly. I want to say it was around September.
So you're talking about September of 2016.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you found out that this little girl was yours, according to what I read, you invited her to come to move into your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
I invited her to be closer to my daughter, and I told her that she could live with me until she got on her feet, found her own place. I wanted to be closer to my daughter, and I just wanted to be friends with her, co-parent.
Do you have any other children?
I do not.
Do you have any other children?
No.
And I assume you didn't have your own place to live.
Not at the time, no.
When you moved into Mr. McNulty's house, you have a house?
Yes, ma'am.
How many bedrooms are in the house?
3.
Your daughter had 1 bedroom?
Correct.
Did you have the other?
Yes.
And Mr. McNulty the third?
Yes.
So you were living there as 2 parents of a child. You were not a couple. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. Now, an incident occurred in September wherein you claimed that Mr. McNulty damaged your car, took your cell phone, and threw your property out.
He threw some of my belongings out, not all of them,
Now-
and it was in November.
Would you like to explain to me, Miss Russell, why this man who actually tried, at least on the surface, tried to do everything in an appropriate fashion, contacted you to find out whether he had a child, bore the expense probably of a paternity test, found out that this was in fact his child, and you were, for all intents and purposes, homeless. You didn't have your own residence. He invited you to come to stay in his house, your own bedroom, because he wanted to, he uses the word co-parent, he wanted to be closer to his child. You want to tell me why he would do such dastardly things? You want to tell me what happened in
I
November?
did pay for the entire paternity test. I also was living comfortably at my sister's. I had my own room
Well, then why would you go to his house?
because I thought I was doing the right thing and letting my daughter's father be in her life.
She can be in his life many, many ways.
He wanted us to be closer, and he gave us this dream of being a happy family, and little did I know until I moved in that he was not the person I thought he was.
Okay, let's move on to November. Tell me what happened.
So he came home.
What date?
It was November 12th, I believe. He came home inebriated with a girl for the 3rd time, and we had an agreement that he would not bring home women while we were living there for the safety of our child and
No, just
for
a second.
respect.
Just a second. When did you make this agreement?
After we decided we weren't going to have a intimate relationship.
Right. In what month was that?
That was September.
Okay, so shortly after you came in.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about the conversation.
Conversation after he got home that night?
No, the conversation where he said that he would not bring women home to his home, even though you weren't his girlfriend, you weren't involved in a relationship. Tell me about that conversation.
Our conversation was out of respect for each other and for our daughter, unless we were serious about people, and until I moved out with our daughter, that he would not bring girls home.
Is that correct?
No, ma'am, it's not.
Well, you hesitated for a moment. You want to tell me why?
Yes, because she wasn't actually a girl I was seeing. It was more of like a friend that I've known for a long time, and she took it as a girlfriend. And
Okay,
that's...
now when you came home on November 12th, do you remember that day?
Yes, I do, because I don't remember if it was November 12th. I remember it was Veterans Day, because I was in the military with a couple of buddies of mine, and usually my buddies will take me out on Veterans Day.
Okay.
So that's
Did you
why.
come home drunk?
I wouldn't say drunk. I was a little. I was inebriated. I'll admit that. Yeah. It
Do you remember what time you came home?
was about 2:30
In the morning?
in the morning. Yes.
And there was a woman with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's hear what happened.
That was the instance of one of 3 women throughout
Where?
the process of living together he'd brought
That's okay,
home.
it's his house.